going into orbit. I'm doing my best Master Puff impression. Master Puff with the Influence Tour. He just broke his toe. Potentially.
Charlie burnt dinner.
Charlie burnt dinner.
Just Jan and A-Rob.
Yeah, and we have Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Charlie Parker on the podcast. We also have on this screen, we have Master Puff. So, we got friends. But we are here with Apex's Jan Almasy. What's up, Jan?
What's up, A-Rob?
Spelled like Jan, but it is Jan.
Pronounced like you're about to fall asleep. You know what it is.
There you go. And we got Mama Puff. We got her painting right here. I told her we'd display it prominently before we find a place on the wall.
Did I get look at that? Did I get a chance to see that?
Actually, it's on the stream. There you go. Yeah, it's a nice little like floating tree with the moon behind it. Some nice stars. It looks like it's going into orbit.
Holy
actually,
crap.
I didn't even think about that when I picked it out. She was like, she had a bunch of paintings. She was like, pick one for the office. And I was like, this one's dope. And it makes sense in orbit. It's going into orbit.
Okay, I need to figure out how to get a hold of a Mama Puff.
Yeah.
Picture. That's badass.
She's been making a lot of paintings recently. She said she was nervous to show, but this is
it looks so
phenomenal.
Cool. Yeah, it's fantastic.
She should be charging for this.
Yeah, 100%. Way to go, Mama Puff.
Pretty dope. But we're just we're two not rappers.
Very much so.
I mean, I actually I've put out a couple albums, but I don't really talk about it much.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Actually, let me see. I don't think I have any music videos still up.
No way.
But I used to.
I was in a screamo band back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were you screaming or you playing guitar?
I sang clean vocals and then played rhythm guitar. It's called Heroes with Haircuts.
Heroes with Haircuts.
Yeah.
Is there anything on YouTube?
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Because that'd be awesome.
We performed like maybe once or twice at the Outpost.
Oh, okay.
Up in Kent. I think the biggest thing that we ever did was like open for Jamie's Elsewhere, but it was mostly covers.
Okay.
And then my buddy Mike Ayers was the drummer. Shout out Mike. We met in homeschool band, so that was that era of my life.
Homeschool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know
Malone University used to have like a band for homeschool kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you could come out and socialize with other humans.
Did you ever hear the homeschool high five?
The homeschool high five? Yeah. I have not. No. Oh.
My friend
clap.
My friend Joe, his family was all homeschooled pretty much, and he showed me that. Or I think maybe my friend Tristan. I don't know. I had a lot of homeschool friends growing up that went to church with me, and
where'd you go to church? Was around here?
Chapel in North Canton.
In North Canton?
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. There's a lot of homeschool.
Yeah.
But,
dude, it was a different world. It was a different ball game.
Yeah, different era.
Of
man, I don't think I have many. I have like the music.
What genre was it?
It was kind of like, I would say like indie hip hop. Let me see if I can find anything on the computer.
Okay.
Let me see.
Okay.
I think I still have stuff up on Spotify. You give it a listen. I've actually been wanting to get now that Charlie, we got this whole studio going on.
Right.
I've been wanting to get back into it, but I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, well, if
Maybe
Charlie has anything to do with it, I'm putting out a country album.
Oh, there you go.
In the next decade, so I was like, dude, I gotta finish building the businesses first. Like, give me like 5 years to become like financially stable, and then when I have like people that I've hired running the businesses, then
you'll strike out,
then I'll strike out
on the country.
Yeah, then I'll pick up my guitar and my pick. I was actually writing a song with Tyler.
Oh, really?
The other day, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. What was the?
Adam Robb.
No way.
That was me right there.
California Addict.
Yep. Californication, kind of like the.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is my album. Me and my friend Jesse Gearhart put this thing together. It was 2016.
That sounds really familiar.
And it was all about like when I lived out in LA. I kind of wrote it from like the perspective of somebody living on Skid Row. And let me play like a little something. What's a good one?
Wait, you lived out in LA too?
Yep. Yeah, I worked on Skid Row on and off for like 2 years.
Doing what?
Like homeless ministry, like inner city stuff, like helping people through like a program.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. hope I don't get copyrighted by myself. That would suck. I mean, I guess I could. I don't know.
Our audio just gets muted on Facebook.
I'm like, nah, this is my own song. Yeah, but it kind of had like some Linkin Park influences, some like, cause like Jesse's real into like pop punk kind of music.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
A man is being handcuffed beside me. Go down on his knees, hear the crack of a whip as he tries to flee. A steel toe strikes the side of him, but I'm too tired to try and take mine. Hurt people are people, broken souls walk on broken souls. I succumb to the things that keep me comfortably numb. If I wanna leave this town, I could probably just thumb. Maybe go back where I'm from. At least it's 75 and the sun's still shining. Gold rush ended a while ago, but the people still mining. And in the city, you know what they say, to live and die in LA, we're the lords of the city. Every dog has its day, a broken man's
horns.
dream to make it out some
Yeah,
way,
no joke.
somehow, someday.
We had our friend Michaela playing vocals. She's pretty good. Got good pipes.
California love, California breathing, the air is thick, California wheezing, California sick, California addict when it's all said and done.
This is actually how I met Tez. Because, well, actually, we worked at Starbucks together. And then the last, like, few months that we were, like, doing this band thing, Tez was playing drums with me. And we had, like, our, like, Alesis, like, electric drum kit because we could make it for each song.
Right.
Have different effects. And so, because we like to do, like, a full band when we performed. And so
This is you on drums?
No, this is right now. So Jesse Gearhart, he works at Real Gray Studios down in Canton.
Yeah.
He produced like I think 90% of this album. Yeah, he's like a multi-instrumentalist.
That's sick.
Multi-linguist.
Right.
He knows like
all the
6 or 7 languages. I don't know how he does it. He's learning Ukrainian right now.
Just for shits and giggles?
Yeah, just 'cause, like he founded a Ukrainian village up in Cleveland, and he just goes there and hangs out and talks Ukrainian. Like he has a whole. He wants to start like his own like training business, like teach people how to learn languages. Like
oh, that's cool.
He's got it down to a science.
That's cool. There was this kid that I interviewed that graduated from Walsh. He wrote a book called "To Speak Is to See."
Huh.
And like, I mean, he wrote it as like a senior in college, but it was all about like different principles and like learning languages, and he knew like 4 languages and stuff like that. It was actually pretty dope. I was like, damn. I was like, you came up with this at 20 years old?
I know 0 languages other than English.
I was like, well, you're speaking at least one. You got to have at least one under your belt, Rob.
Yeah. No, I took Spanish, and I learned more about PowerPoint from my Spanish teacher than anything else.
Oh, really?
Because, like, he was all about technology, and, like, he was like, you got to learn PowerPoint, man. And it had loosely to do with Spanish, and so I learned nothing throughout high school.
Right.
But, hey,
yeah,
I mean,
dude, I'm just now starting to try to learn some more Spanish right now. I have Duolingo
Oh, okay, yeah.
downloaded, and I'm, like, working my way through different. I'm remembering more than I thought I would remember. But I'm, like, now starting to get into, like, the harder sentences and phrases and stuff like that. It's not just, like, buenos dias, buenos tardes, like, type stuff. And I feel like the only way I'm going to get better at it is, like, being around people that speak it. So that's really smart that he, like, goes up to the Ukrainian village and, like, immerses himself in it.
Like, he learned, is it Brazilian? Or Portuguese.
Yeah,
I think it's Portuguese. So he'd go to a couple of restaurants that, like, had a lot of, Portuguese-speaking, like, employees, and just hung out, talked to them, and, like, each language, he'd, like, either find an app where he can have conversations with people, or he'd go somewhere and I don't know how he does it. It's crazy. He's like,
that's really smart. Yeah. I mean, it's really smart. I mean, anything that you want to do like that, like to accomplish, like building a habit or a skill or anything like that, as long as you're purposeful about it, then like you could do damn near fucking anything. Yeah. If you put your mind to it and like actually put yourself into a routine.
It's like how Charlie always says, you got to believe it.
Yeah. Well, you have to like, you know how they always say, like, fake it till you make it? Yeah. I think that statement is such ass. I think it's so bullshit. Because, like, if you fake it, quote unquote, right, fake it till you make it, then you end up, like, living somebody else's life. Yeah. Basically, right? Like, you're pretending to be something that you're not, to become something that you think that you're supposed to be, but that doesn't always line up with what you're actually meant to become, right? So like if you fake it till you make it, okay, maybe if you're applying it to like just confidence, right? But I would rather people just like be it until they become it, right?
Yeah,
so like if you build a habit and then like just start like when I got into marketing, dude, it was just like, all right, I'm gonna listen to one podcast every day about marketing. I did that for like 3 years.
Yeah, just
right?
absorb everything.
And just absorb it. And I was like, if this is what I want to do and this is what I want to become, then I'm just gonna do the things that person would do. So like I'm going to keep like take good care of my body. I'm gonna like be disciplined about work. I'm gonna, you know, focus on social media and make friends on social. I'm going to post content. I'm gonna take videos, and then like eventually I'll just become that person.
Yeah.
By being that. And I see that with Charlie and with Shank and like
look, he's being Spider-Man right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's becoming it.
Yeah, like he's literally heroic.
Yeah, I love how they use his like high school picture.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, we got this we had a little cookout yesterday, and we had Spider Charlie, and he couldn't make it tonight, so
we need to put a picture of Shank's head up on there so we can have like Spider Shank.
Well, Shank's got so many alter egos. I don't even know.
He doesn't need any more.
He's got Shiv. He's got Lil Fig. He's got what's the other ones? The Shank, Shiv, Shanklin,
Shankles,
Shiv in the Night. That's his.
Is that like a dark alter ego?
Dark alter ego. I don't know. Where is Shank at? We should have Callin In.
Yeah, Puff.
Yeah.
I want to dude, text him and tell him to call in so that we can hear the story about him breaking his toe. Yeah. I want to know what happened there.
What was it? See what he says.
Because he said it happened after he got home, right?
Yeah.
So like you didn't break your toe all day while you were at work, and then you come home, and within 10 minutes of being home, you break your toe.
Yeah.
Like how did that happen?
I gotta know. Let's see. Connect that to that. All right, sweet. This is like gonna be like a radio show, like. All right, Callin Brace, Callin In. Oh, is it looping?
What's that?
Oh, I had this thing open. Callin broke his toe. Oh no, I guess Steve didn't know that. I guess. Well, we don't know for sure. I guess he has to see a doctor.
Oh, Steve.
Yeah.
Steve was like, "What?
He broke his toe.
My bad, Puff. Breaking the news.
We gotta know." Oh man. Well, we'll see what happens. Let me text him. Callin.
It's so hard for me to call him Callin.
Yeah, it's weird. It like that's the thing. Like my like I've kind of switched over to Callin every artist that we work with just by their artist name, because I'm like, how many times do like people call, you know, like called Juice WRLD like by his real name, or you know.
Yeah, how many people call The Weeknd Abel?
Yeah, like no, like you just call him by the artist name. That's it. That's who it is. Like,
well, I feel
it's kind of like the beat.
I feel like if your artist name is something that is like referenceable to a person, then yeah. But like, I'm not gonna walk up to, I don't know, 6ix9ine and be like, "Hey, 6ix9ine," you know, like that's not. I don't know, like, but Charlie Parker, like I could say Charlie Parker, and like that is like definitely in reference to a human, or like I guess Puff is kind of in between, but
Master Puff, Shanklin, that's just his last name, but
yeah, people always get intimidated when I introduce him. Like, hey, my buddy Shank.
Yeah, they're like,
he's gonna show up, and they're like,
this guy sounds intense.
Who? And then he shows up, and he's like the goofiest dude.
It's like, oh, okay.
Everyone's like, oh, that's fine.
Shank. Yeah.
It's all good. It's like, oh, it's just a persona.
Yeah.
So how did you originally get into videography and stuff? Like, how did All Circles kick off?
Kind of out of like you know, I had just gotten into like doing videos and stuff. I started a couple vlogs, but I always end up like I'll start them one up and then I'll just forget about it. So classic situation. But
right.
So Tez, me and him were talking because he started like posting music under Tez, and I was like, dude, this stuff's like really good. I like the vibe, and I was like, let's start. I was like, I've been wanting to try my hand at like a music video. I was like, let's meet up and try one out, because when me and Jesse had our California Addict video band, like we kind of wanted to do music videos to it because it's very like it's like a whole story, like a narrative.
Yeah.
And the guy that we were gonna do a video with, he just kept like flaking on us. So we were like,
I hate that.
yeah, we didn't really know anybody else that did music videos. We had one of our friends that like had like kind of like not the best camera, but we tried to do a video. We didn't have a gimbal or anything, but we kept like it just didn't look good. So we were like, and then like the card kept getting corrupted and stuff. So we were like, well, and we just kind of gave up. So I was like, I've always wanted to do a music video, and I think I could like try it out with like a friend. So that's what actually the first video I ended up doing, because me and Tez didn't link up for a while, was actually Puff, because I met him at a show at the Meadery. Like it was like still like COVID time, so like everybody was rocking masks, but I got to meet everybody, and I was like, it was like the middle of winter, and they were like, hey, we're doing a lot of cool stuff this summer, let's do it. So I started like linking up, and then we had gotten this office recently, and it was hard having people here because of COVID, because I was like, I don't want to like have too many people here and it'd be weird. And so I ended up like we started this podcast like I think it was like last summer or something, and then I did a music video for Puff. That was the first one I ever did. Did a couple for Tez, and then just kind of like from there.
Yeah,
like,
from there it just kind of moved.
Mm-hmm. I have a few in the bank that just never got around to finishing, or I was like too scatterbrained to finish anything. So, yeah, like we have like footage. We have so much footage. Like that's something like me and Puff, like we've been trying to go like comb through, because we have like this is all of 2021. This giant like 4 terabyte hard drive is just full of stuff, and like it's a lot to go through.
Right.
So yeah, we need that. We're like starting to get back into that like archives.
Yeah. Well, that's. I mean, when you like recording the content is one thing, but like sorting through it, editing it, and actually making it into something that's consumable is like a completely different ballgame.
Yeah. Yeah. Like have you ever seen Enter Through the Gift Shop? That it's like it's a weird it's like Banksy. It's like a Banksy film.
Okay.
And it was about this like French guy who, like, his cousin was Space Invader, like one of the big like graffiti artists like around that time.
Yeah.
And so he became friends with him, started just like filming with like no real direction, just like kind of going out with every night filming them do stuff. And then he met Shepard Fairey, and then through Shepard Fairey he met Banksy. And so this whole movie, it's kind of like nobody even really knows what the movie's about, because towards the end you see that this French guy, he becomes like a street artist himself just by like copying different aspects of all the people he's ever like worked with.
Right.
And so I'm like, eventually one day
is that a bomb?
Batteries are done.
I was like, are we about to explode?
Yeah, no, rechargeable batteries. I feel like my whole life consists of charging batteries, wires, cables,
microphone,
getting zapped. Yeah, like
getting shocked
like my
by
whole life. Like every weekend, after I'm doing weddings, I got to charge all the uplighting and charge these batteries for the microphones. And
how much equipment goes into like
it's
a
lot.
wedding?
Yeah.
Because I like the last time that you and Charlie were like loading up the van, it's like takes you guys like 20 minutes, half an hour just to load up. The shit.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, well, you have to think like most of the time I'm going into like, you know, it's been coming more often, but like there's sometimes I'm just going to like venues I've never been to before.
Right.
It's always nice when it's somewhere I've been. I know like where I can put stuff, kind of for the most part. But like there's some places I show up and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna need like 2 setups, or like one for the ceremony, one for the reception. If they have a cocktail hour in like a totally different location, that's I make it so that I can set up. Like I have 3 different speaker setups going at once.
Right.
So that kind of covers pretty much anywhere I could need. So, and then you have to have backup wires for everything, and then random wires for different. Yeah, it's I've been paring down my system, but still, it's a lot of wires.
Yeah. Well, there's like nothing worse than showing up and not having the right cable.
Yeah, you missing like one cable could be like
completely destroy the setup.
Yeah, just throw everything off, and you're like,
yeah.
Like what?
That's one thing that we did like early on when we started Apex. We actually made a good amount of our revenue the first like year from doing live streaming at events.
Oh yeah,
for people for COVID.
That's
so like we had like a 3 camera setup with wireless that all routed into an ATEM. And that ATEM routed into a laptop, and then we were able to like virtually control the streams and swap between cameras and have transitions and fades and everything. And then we like would just show up places. We would have a 4-man crew, 1 operating the ATEM, 3 are monitoring the cameras. Sorry, it'd be 5. It was 1 person monitoring, 3 people on camera, 1 person on like they would just walk around and make sure that everything was running. Running smooth.
Yeah.
And I think we did like 2 or 3 events.
Yeah.
Like that. It was a lot of fun. We went down to Amish country and live streamed an entire
What'd you
weekend.
bring for the reception? What were you running? Like what did you have? Were you
so
able to plug
into?
Like
we ran it was like professional conferences.
Oh, okay. So they had
stuff like
at
that.
Least, yeah, I did last year. I did 3 weddings live streaming them on top of DJing, and that was a nightmare.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Like, you bring a router, but if they don't have anywhere to plug it in, I ran it off my iPad.
Oh shit!
It actually looked good. Like
really?
I was like surprised. Like it always came down to the wire too. And I always like recorded it, just in case. I was like, if worst comes to worst, like I told him, I'm like, this is not my specialty, but because it's COVID, I'll help you guys out, for an extra like $100 or something. But I'm like, I'm going.
Bro, the stress of live streaming a whole ass event is not worth $100.
It sucked, dude. I should.
It is not. If you're listening to this right now, and
I did not know what I was getting into.
Yeah, $100. If you're listening to this and you want your event live streamed, do not budget for $100.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Like you'll get someone like me like stressing out because I'm like I'm already sweating because it's middle of summer. But then you also want me to live stream an event at a place with I did one at Stan Hewitt. That place is like a dead zone. There's like barely any reception anywhere in that facility. And I somehow made it work. I like was able to connect because my iPad has LTE, and it was somehow able to daisy chain and work. I was very surprised, but I always told I was like, look,
shout out to Apple. Then. Just shout out to iPads.
It was crazy, dude. But yeah, I will never do it again because it was just too stressful. I was like, why did I sign up for this? I'm an idiot.
I've had so many jobs that are like that. Yeah, I've had jobs that are like that 100%. There was a job that we did not too long ago that I basically self-taught myself how to do. So like I went out and I sold the contract, and then I taught myself how to fulfill the contract, and then fulfilled the contract, and we got good reviews. Yeah, but it's still like sometimes I put myself in those situations where I'm like, why did I do this? I'm like up at like 2 o'clock in the morning reading articles on how it was for Google Analytics when we first started getting into that. Yeah, I'm up at like 1 o'clock in the morning doing a certification on Google's free web academy, trying to figure out how to actually do this because we convinced a company to like. Work with us. Sometimes that's just how it works in the startup world, though.
You just gotta. Well, it's not like we were saying. It's not fake it till you make it. You have to like be it.
No, because you gotta fucking do it. You gotta pull it through. You know what I mean? You can't you can't just pretend like, oh yeah, I'll definitely get this done for you, and then like shit the bed when it comes time to actually.
And weddings, like they're like I every day that I have a wedding, like there's still like even 5 years down the road, like I'm still like there's that like little bit of stress where you're like, all right, wedding is happening today. And you are in charge of making that happen. I like, DJing, like, a lot of times, like, if a DJ's doing a good job, you won't notice them that much. But, like, it's a hard job, like, because there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of people. That's the thing.
It's one of those jobs. Excuse me. It's one of those jobs where you're not supposed to notice the person outside of like them doing like the
giving
MC
announcements.
thing. Yep. So like if you're noticing the wedding DJ constantly
messing up,
you're probably not doing great. Which is weird because you have to like be forward and involved because they'll also notice if you're not involved enough.
If things aren't happening right, if they only if they want to dance, like if one of their priorities is like getting people on the dance floor, and you're not. and like things aren't happening quick enough, and they only give it like an hour and a half or an hour 15 minutes, like they're gonna be pissed. And
Right.
yeah, and then they put the pressure on you to like play longer, and you're like, look, the venue's telling me we gotta shut this thing down. They're like, just one more song. How much for one more song? And I'm like, that's a venue question. Like, a lot of times that happens, and I have to be like, they're like, well, we didn't get to boo. I'm like, it's a stressful. Sometimes you get in those stressful situations. You're like,
we didn't get to do the Cupid shuffle.
Yeah. I'm like, but and then there's always people that want to change things last minute. That's always fun. That's a fun. Like
Dude, I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that with a burning passion.
Yeah. This last weekend, I had a couple weddings where like the maid of honor lost her speech, and it was somewhere in there like getting ready room, and they were like looking for a half an hour, 45 minutes. She ended up winging it, and at the end of it, but yeah, we were like, it set us back a while. And then the second wedding I had this weekend, the dad was like changing the father-daughter song, and then the daughter, like the bride, was like, no, don't listen to my dad, like stuff like that. And you're like, oh,
who do I listen to?
Yeah, I always listen to the bride.
That's probably a good rule of thumb.
That's my rule of thumb. Yeah, sometimes the parents of the bride, occasionally, but I always defer to the bride. I'm like, what? You're the one that's ultimately I'm trying to impress here. Like, make happy.
What do you want?
Yeah, so you have to kind of.
That's probably a good mentality to have. Out of everybody, we always talk about in sales, like identifying your key player. 110% at a wedding, bride, key player.
Bride is the key. Sometimes it's the groom that's the key. Like, they're the ones that are like care like the most about stuff. But yeah, most of the time it's the bride. And Momzillas, they've been on the low lately. Like, they haven't been.
Momzillas?
Yeah, I haven't had too many, so that's been good.
Not gonna
wood, yeah.
Keep that trend going for you into the fall.
I always try to befriend them as soon as possible. That's
also probably a good move.
Yeah. But it's just the way that you gotta, you just have to. It's like Survivor. You gotta like make your allies quick.
Otherwise,
people on your alliance.
Off the island. Yeah. No, I mean jobs like wedding DJ, bartender, hostess, server, MC.
Yeah.
Radio host. Like any of these jobs that like they're a lot more difficult. Like, I'll use a bartender as an example, right? That job is so much more difficult than memorizing drinks, right? So, like, if you think about what a bartender needs to do throughout the duration of their shift, right? Like, a bartender has to be able to balance a whole bunch of different personalities, right? So, like, somebody comes up and orders a drink, they have to very quickly be like, okay, where is this person on a scale of 1 to fucked up?
Yeah. How fucked up is too fucked up?
Right. Should they be drinking, and then, like, they make a decision from there. So that's one decision within, within 30 seconds of seeing the person, right?
Yeah.
They have to have, like, the next 5 people in line identified down the line of the bar, but make the person that they're having a conversation with feel like they're 100% focused on them. Be able to make the drink while juggling, washing the stuff, making sure that everything is restocked, making sure that they're calling stuff out to other people, running up and down the bar. They have to be able to do quick math under pressure, right? And be able to, like, understand how to operate a POS system to put orders in while they're thinking about the other orders that are coming in. I mean, there's a lot going on. And if you're not very social, or like you don't understand how to navigate the intricacies of like leading a bar back and not stepping on the other bartender's toes and managing all of the customers, and like not only managing customers but managing hammered ones. And be able to do that effectively, that takes a lot of awareness. Like, that's why I think so many people from the service industry do so well in sales. And do so well in like leadership and stuff like that, because they have to be able to navigate so many different things while still like doing a good job. Because at the end of the day, if they make you a shit drink, then they don't get tipped well.
No tip.
So you have to be able to like do the thing that you're like there to do really, really well while balancing all of this other stuff. And it's the same thing with the DJ. Like, if you're too involved, bad. If you're not involved enough, also horrible.
Yeah.
Do you listen to Momzilla even though she's throwing a fit? Is dad right? Is the bride going on? Like,
yeah, and there's sometimes you just have to make an executive decision, and you're like, a song now, like it's because like you just have to keep things going, and like I always say, like the ceremony and the dinner are about the bride and the groom, the after party,
Yeah.
kind of about the the guests too. And I always say like whenever I'm like coaching like bride and grooms, like I always say like whenever something like doesn't go to plan, because like something is bound to go not to plan. Like people will look to you guys to see how you react to it, and if you guys are like just let it roll off like whatever, then it's not that big a deal. But it's when if you make it a big deal, it becomes like a big thing.
It's like if a 4-year-old smacks their face off of a door, and then they look at you and they're like, oh.
And then
you're like,
you're fine.
You're good. And they just start laughing and run away.
Yeah, then they're all good.
But if they're like, oh my God, are you okay? And they're just like, what? They just full send it.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, I don't know. Yeah, it's another world. But yeah. But tell us about what's going on with you, man. What have you been up to? You been hanging out at the Hall of Fame Village?
Yeah, dude, I love that Starbucks.
Yeah, I need to go check it out.
And I have hella 10% off coupons. So.
Oh yeah, I got them back in there.
Although I'm not gonna lie, like today I went in and the only thing I bought was a black coffee, and I handed them the 10% off coupon, and the lady just looked at me like, really?
For this?
I was like, dude, I have a bunch of them. Like, what else am I supposed to use them on? Save me all of like 20 cents on the $2 cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's.
But I'm not gonna not use it. You know what I mean? No, I've been working there a lot just because. Dude, working remote is so hard to focus at home sometimes. So I've been making it a habit, like every Monday I get out of the house and I go work at Gervasi.
Oh, yeah.
But today, like I had a meeting that I had to go to in the morning, so I couldn't go to Gervasi, so I went to Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to start like a regular schedule for
That'd be dope. Yeah.
Consultants that are in our area, like people that work remote. I'm going to be like, hey, like Mondays we're going to meet at Gervasi, right? Like Wednesdays, let's meet at Hall of Fame Village. Fridays, let's meet at Carpe Diem.
That's
coffee.
a good idea, yeah.
And then like pick other random coffee shops, and like those are just the 3 that I'm the most familiar with as of right now. So like that's where I would start. But I think it would be cool to like. There's a bunch of independent consultants that I know that live in this area, and like I know that we're all dying to like actually work with other people every now and then, because we're always just kind of grinding on our own.
Yep, it's a solo kind of life.
Yeah.
You're
luckily,
around,
I have
a lot of people, but like a lot of time when you're like digging in, like you're just kind of by yourself sometimes.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've been down here when I've been in the studio. Like I'm like on my laptop with my headphones on, and like there could be absolute chaos going on behind me, but I'm like zeroed in on what I got to get done.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've been doing a lot of work recently, just like trying to make websites more accessible for people with visual accessibility issues, and like people that can't hear, people that have like issues like dyslexia, like making websites so that it's easier to read the words based on the font and the color, and stuff like that. So that's been a big part of work. And then the big thing that I'm doing going into the fall is being like an entrepreneurship professor is like the easiest way to describe it. But there's a company called Indie Collective that I became the head of community. And so what Indie Collective basically is it's a cohort-based program. So cohort meaning like a group of people going through a curriculum.
Yeah.
They offer 2 10-week curriculums every single year. It's a membership-based program, so you pay like a price, and then you are a member for a full year, and you can go through 2 of the 10-week cohorts. And those 10-week programs are dedicated to taking a person from like initial business idea all the way through launching and scaling their company.
Yep.
And so whether you're like just starting an independent consulting company, or you've already made your first 6 figures and you want to try to figure out how to get to 7, like there's a community of 300 plus 6 and 7 figure consultants that have graduated from this program, that once you go through, you have this network of alumni to continue to bounce ideas off of, and like 80% of the graduates do business together. So it's really cool because like, I don't know, dude, I spent like the last 5 years of my life just building things, and like 5 years ago, the only thing that I saw was like a vision for a podcast and a blog.
Yeah.
And then now like here I am 5 years later, like with a whole ass company, and like now as the head of community of a international educational program.
Yeah.
And that's something that like, dude, I went to school for nursing and clinical psych.
Yeah.
So I'm just hyped. Like I'm really trying to work right now. Like one thing I'm trying to do outside of those two things, because that's really just business. But like me on the personal side, I'm really trying to work on like putting out more content about ADHD. I'm putting out more content about like, here are the habits that I have, because I'm realizing like people that are around me are asking me like, how do you do what you do?
Yeah.
You know, like how do you get so locked in? Like, how do you care enough about what you're trying to work on that you're so motivated to do it? And I'm hard on myself all the time, and I don't really think that I'm working as hard as maybe other people perceive. But when I really started to think about it, I'm like, no, I'm a really purposeful dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very specific about like what I do, when I do it, why I do it, who I do it with, you know? And so I really am going to start putting out content, and then I'm hoping to like figure out a way to get in front of other like college students, other people, and just say like, hey, like, life is not linear. You know, like you can go to school, you can graduate with your degree, and you might not be able to use that degree in the workforce. That does not mean you're a failure. Like, here's why. Yeah. You know, or like college might not be the right path for you. You know, maybe you are meant to be an entrepreneur. Maybe you're supposed to be in the trades. Maybe you're supposed to you know, go into the military for a short period of time and then find something else to do with your life. But the answer isn't always just like putting yourself in school and getting in debt right away. There's a whole bunch of different things, and you have to figure out what genuinely like makes you happy in something that you can make money doing that provides value to a community. If you can find one of like those three things together,
perfect,
then you're in a good spot, you know? And people, I don't know, even me, like when I first started getting into it, I didn't think it was possible, you know, and now I'm living it and I'm like, damn. Yeah. Like, I want to go and make sure that everybody knows that it is, you know, and here's some things that you can do to get to a place like that.
Yeah. So who are some people that you follow, or like, I know, you know, you're into Gary Vee and
Gary Vee was a huge influence of mine early on. He's becoming, you know, like, he is one of those people that I think like has a phenomenal personal brand. I think he's doing a lot really well. I've heard mixed reviews about him on the business practice side. And like, I was with him all the way up to like promoting NFTs like crazy. Cause I don't know. I'm normally a really early adopter. I might just be behind the curve on NFTs. Yeah. I really believe in like Web3 and like blockchain as a whole, and like all of like the next wave of the internet. Yeah. But just picking that one thing and just beating the crap out of it and getting a bunch of people to spend money on Vee friends. I'm like, dude, like, you're leveraging your personal brand to make revenue. That's not you. Yeah. You know, you're like this person that wants to empower and give people advice. So he is 100% somebody who inspired me to found Apex in the first place. Andy Frisella is a big one for me. He's the CEO of a company called First Form. Yep. Hosts a podcast called the MF CEO. And now I think it's called Real AF with Andy. I also like, there's the American writer named Jim Collins, and he wrote a series of books called Good to Great, Built to Last, and The Flywheel Effect. Those three books completely changed my perspective on like how to build a business to outlast you. Yeah. Right. Like, how do you build a business so that you don't have to operate it the whole time? And then probably one of my other big influences is Jordan Peterson. And he's more for like leadership, how to lead a team of people, right? Because he talks about a lot of like psychological principles of leadership and how to kind of navigate the world. Yeah. And so he's a big one that I listen to as far as like leadership and stuff goes too. And then there's a whole bunch of like really like nerdy specific like to web analytics and other stuff like that like people are definitely not going to care about. Like,
yeah, the kind of people that are like, it's more technical, right?
Yeah. Like unless you're in the marketing world, you're not going to care about Neil Patel. Yeah. You know, he's one of the largest SEO people on the planet, but like, unless you're a marketing nerd, like you're not just going to like Google Neil Patel. Yeah. You might Google Gary Vee and watch a motivational video.
Yeah. Well, he's on it. You know? Like, but yeah, and same thing. Like I get into like seasons where I listen to Gary Vee because I need like that motivation, and I'll be like, I should just do everything. And then, but yeah, I think, you know, kind of like he likes being ahead of the game on certain things.
Right.
And I think when he did the Be Friends and that kind of stuff, like
Right.
I haven't really heard him talk about much else. So I'm kind of I'm at the same
it's
boat,
like he's just kind of like locked into that thing, and he normally is so expansive and like covers so many different ideas and about like leadership and like the state of Gen Zs on the internet and all this other stuff. And like lately it's just been NFT. I'm like, dude, I know you've got more in there. That's what I want to say to him. I'm like, I know you have more content in there other than recycled content from like the Gary Vee audio experience.
Yep.
And whatever, like talk to us about that, about other stuff that you've got going on. Now I would love to interview him someday. He's like on a bucket list.
That'd be cool
for interviewing on the pod.
Gary Vee, he's a funny dude. He like I remember like back when I was delivering for Domino's, that was on my rotation. Just the podcast, and then like when he was talking about TikTok early on, before like a lot of people started using it, like he was like, get on TikTok, and I got on TikTok, but I didn't really have a direction with it. So I had a bunch of followers, and then they all kind of left because I didn't really have like a specific focus.
Direction. Yeah.
I was like, dang.
Yeah, dude. I feel that like it wasn't last year. It was 2 years ago. Like in 2020, I racked up like 30K on TikTok, and I haven't done anything with it since. I mean, I just like experimenting with platforms, and then like just proving to myself that I can beat the algorithm and then move on. Yeah. And like. I don't really use any social like that anymore because, like, when I was really cranking to get to that 30K, like, I was addicted to TikTok. And I did not like that at all. Yeah. What are some of your biggest platforms that you post stuff to? LinkedIn is probably my bigger one. Yeah. I think I have almost 2,000 followers on LinkedIn now, on top of, like, connections. So the way that, so I have, like, I think 1,500 plus connections, but 2,000 people follow me. So that's like, I don't follow them. They're just watching what I do. And then probably IG are the two, honestly. And even those, like I delete, like Instagram is not on my phone right now. I don't re-download it until tomorrow morning after 12 p.m. I only have the app on my phone between noon and 5. Yeah. And then like generally after that, I try not to be on it. Yeah. Every now and then I'll like break and I'll download it at like 9 o'clock at night and do a quick scroll. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like a crack addict sitting on the couch, like, oh yes, what's happening? For me, like I and this is a problem I always have is I've made so many Instagram accounts and I never really focused on one, like. Because every time I'd create something different. I'm like, oh, it needs to be another Instagram account for this, and so I'll always do that to myself. I don't know why. Yeah, you can't spread yourself too thin. That's one thing that Gary Vee actually talks about that's really, really prevalent is like, you know, don't try to be him. Don't try to be any other influencer. Don't try to copy somebody else's. Like, just be you. Like, do what you do and videotape that and post the things that you do online. And like, don't try to, like, be something that you're not or, like, put on, like, a persona. And then the other piece is just, like, if you're going to lock in on something, my rule at this point, because I used to just, like, hop from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. My rule is, like, when I decide I'm going to try to do something, like, I have to lock into it for a minimum of a month, content-wise. So, like, over summer, I've been doing these Talk to Me Thursdays. Yep. Right? And I've done that every Thursday for 2 months now. And now there's enough data to be like, oh, people are actually kind of like this. Like now my intern and my marketing team is like, we should move this over to YouTube and you can make this a YouTube live and then we can monetize the YouTube channel. And, you know, let's answer questions about this because YouTube is kind of like a search engine and blah, 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 all the reasons. But the only reason why we knew that there was enough people watching it that it was even worth it to go to YouTube is because we stuck with it for a minimum of 30 days. Yep. You know, so, because it's really easy as a creative. Like, we get excited when we think of something new. Yeah. And it's easy to just go, ooh, shiny, ooh, shiny, ooh, shiny, ooh, shiny. It's a trap. Yeah. And it is. It is. But it feels so right. Yeah. You're like, I can handle it all, you know. Yeah. And then you're sitting there at night. You're like, oh, my God, how many things do I have to get done? Yeah. And then you do, like, the worst is when you just decide not to do any of them. You're like, I have so many things that needs to happen that I'm just going to not do any of them. Yeah.
I
Then
do
you
that.
wake up the next day and you're like, shit.
You're like, now I got like 3 times what I got to do.
Right.
Dang.
Yeah, then you just end
That's
up
how
having
I-
to plow through it.
Yep. So, yep, that's how I live my life, and it's not good.
It's a problem for future Adam.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's I've been trying to get.
Sam
like,
says that shit all the time. Like, oh, that's
Yeah.
a problem for future me.
Just say- yeah, it is, because like then you're like, damn, only past Adam would have done this and this, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. See, and that's where like, there was actually, I posted an Instagram thing today. That was like my whole message, like that feeling
Yeah.
is actually my whole reason for posting the video that I posted today about non-negotiables. About how like every single day you have to do something that like come hell or high fucking water,
Yeah.
you're doing those things. And I generally just pick 3 things
Yep.
per day, right? But like, because if you don't, then you get like Tuesday or Wednesday, and this is especially true for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
But you get a couple of days in and you haven't done those things and you weren't disciplined about them, it's the worst feeling ever, because now you're like angry at past you because they kind of screwed you over.
Yep.
And you know, if you don't fix it, then future you is going to be even more pissed at present you.
Yep.
And you're like,
You're like, damn, dude.
why did I do this to myself?
Yeah. I did. Yeah, that happens to me a lot. So I've been looking at, like, what I've been doing lately is, like, have you heard of bullet journaling?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and so I've been getting somewhere in my book bag. I've been like trying to do it every night. Like, I'll write out like what I need to get done. Or every week I'll write down like what I need to get done for the week, and then I'll kind of go through. It's the Hipster Journal right here. Just leather and looks cool.
Yeah.
I was like, if it looks cool, I'll use it more. And that's true. I do.
You're like, it turns out it's actually been working.
Yeah, but yeah, I each week I'm like, because I've realized like doing weddings, I've only got, Monday through Thursday, sometimes Friday if I don't have a Friday wedding, but
Right.
I only got like Sunday. It's always a toss up. If I have a wedding, I don't do anything. If I don't know, it's just my day to do random like get stuff done or family stuff.
Right.
Recoup from 2 weddings that weekend or something. But I'm like, each week I'm trying to like, all right, what needs to happen? And then I'm like, all right, let's pick a day when those things have to happen. And it,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
I
You have to
make,
be
like, a
intentional about it,
checklist.
man.
Yeah. And so it's you have to really go like, big idea. Cause like, I feel like I'm juggling a lot of different like brands and stuff. And slowly getting better at like tackling each of those brands, because like at the moment, like I got All Circles Media stuff, I've got All Circles Entertainment, like my wedding stuff, then I have all the brides and stuff that I got through Head Trauma, and then me and my wife have been trying to build up my beard oil business for the longest time. It's been like a long time. And so we're finally getting that up and running. She's taking some of that off of me, which is nice. But I needed to kind of get everything done in order for her to like help me operate it.
Right.
And then what's the other? I think that's pretty much it. So, but yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Well, and like if you don't take time to break it down and break things like, and it's like I am especially horrible at it because I have like hardcore ADHD, but like, even if you don't, I mean, it's just hard to tackle anything that you can't point a finger at, right?
Yeah.
Like if you can't like grab onto it or like tangibly know like at this day at this time I'm gonna do this.
Yep.
If you can't get to that level of detail, you're not gonna get it done.
Yeah.
And that's why like if you were to like my Google Calendar is like blocked.
Oh yeah.
By like half hour, 45-minute increments, hour long stuff. I always try to like the way that I normally structure my weeks is I'll pick like on Sunday night, I'll write down all the things that make me the most anxious for the week, right? And then I'll take that list of things that make me really anxious and I'll narrow it down to 12 things. And then I take those 12 things, I divide them up 3 per day, Monday through Thursday.
Yep.
And then I take self-care tasks and I pick 3 things to do that week that are like taking care of me.
Yeah.
I add those in. And then I take all of the extra things that didn't make it into that list of 12 and sprinkle them throughout the 4 days. And then I kind of leave like Friday as an overflow day. And then I try to really keep my weekend sacred.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't always happen
Yeah.
by any means. But like I really try to do that purposely because I didn't for a long time and it really screwed me over.
Yeah.
Like I used to just work And a lot of my friends can testify to this, but like for pretty much 2 years of my life, I worked 7 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day. And it was just...
It takes a lot out of you.
It took a lot out of me. It took a lot out of me. I feel like I lost a lot of personality. Like there was I was tired all the time. I never wanted to do anything. Like if I wasn't working, I just wanted to sleep.
Yeah.
And it was definitely tough. And if you are balancing a lot like you are, you have multiple brands, multiple tasks that you're trying to get done, deadlines that aren't your own, that other people are imposing on you, and you have to figure out how to juggle all of that. I don't know how people do it without writing it down.
Yeah.
I have no idea how people just like don't journal, or don't have a notes thing in their phone. Like that is one, if somebody comes to me and they're like, I'm anxious all the time, and I'm like, I'm a really high performer, these people aren't like, they're not like failure to launch individuals, like these are high performing people, and they're like, I'm really anxious. And I'm like, well, tell me about your schedule. And they're like, well, my schedule owns me. Yeah. And I'm like, well, own your schedule. Like spend purposeful time. You probably getting that journal probably decreased stress by a ton.
Because then you see it, like, I think seeing things from a bird's eye view is also very helpful. Like seeing like, all right, all this stuff, like, and then eventually, like, you get to the point where like you can offload. Like I'm starting to get people in my orbit. Hey, that I can start like offloading, like especially like stuff that I like the bottleneck for certain things that we're doing, like the music videos and stuff like that is like the editing. Every time I have to learn like a new like effect or something crazy, it takes me like 3 times longer than it should. Then I'm like, well, I'm not going to get to this music video then because it's going to take me a million years to like figure out how to do this. And so like, making connections with people that are that are good at editing already. I'm like, I need to start offloading some of that, crank those out more, like, and just start like do storyboarding, like even the shooting. I like doing that, but like the sitting down, adding everything to the sound, to the track, going through different takes, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So
building a music video I feel like would be kind of a pain.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like every time I do one, I'm like, this could be the easiest music video, and then I get into the editing and I'm like, this is the hardest thing. Why did I do this to myself?
Yeah, every time, dude, every creative I know gets into situations and they're like, why? Why do I do this to myself? But then they see the end result and they're like, this. You're like, this is why I do it to myself.
Yeah, and like those times, some things get easier like as you do them. But like I just need to. There's certain things like I think like a big practice for me has been like, all right, what are things that like bottlenecks in what I'm doing? Yeah. And like what is the part I least enjoy doing that can be offloaded to somebody else? Or so that's kind of I've been trying to figure out those things, and I'm like, all right, like if I want to ramp up something, like I need to like like the fulfilling of the beard oil stuff has been like the thing that's kept me. I've realized kept me like because people ask me a lot about it. Like I've had this like brand in my mind for like since like 2014. I like made an Instagram for it. And I kept putting it on the back burner. Like everybody's like, I make like a batch, sell it to like friends and stuff, and then they're like, "This is really good. Like you gotta keep this thing going." And I'm like, "I know." And then I'd put it on the back burner for another like 6 months, and then I'd be like, "I'm making beard oil again," and it never got past like the
one batch at a time.
Yeah, one batch at a time because they're
the hobby phase.
Yep. And I'm like,
a lot of businesses don't ever make it past that phase. There's a lot of really, really good businesses out there that I'm sure are stuck in the hobby phase.
Yeah. And so now that we finally like got over the hump of like, all right, like we got the website, we got the shipping kind of figured out, like we're making those steps, and then it's just kind of like the execution of it is kind of what I'm working on right now. So I'm like, this is where I always fail. So it's one of those things like once you get over a certain hump, I feel like it does get easier. Or it gets more.
I don't like saying that it gets easier. I like saying that the longer the more punches that you can take, the easier it is to take a punch in the face. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the longer you do it, the better you get at it. Yeah. I had somebody use that when I was at basic training. They were like, okay, week 1 to week 8. Yeah. Doesn't get any easier. You just get better at taking our bullshit. throughout the course of basic. And like, that's the entire goal. So, I mean, if you've had an idea for 8 years, you know, and you've been like iterating it and putting it on the back burner and bringing it back out and learning things and doing other stuff in life. And I mean, it's all about just being a cockroach, right? Like, as long as you don't die, as long as the business idea doesn't completely collapse, it's still something that could take off.
Yeah, that's true.
And move.
Yeah. So that's something I've been, you know, kind of grinding at. So be on the lookout.
It's good too to like make sure that you're conscious of like, how much time different tasks are taking you. Like, this is a huge thing for me, because it's like I always tell myself, and I got this piece of advice probably a year or two ago, and I try to pass this forward all the time. It's like, if you were paying yourself what you want to make, right? Yeah. And it's taking you longer X amount of hours, right? If it's taking you more hours than $150 is worth, hire somebody out to do that thing. Like, if it's a basic podcast edit, if it's video editing, if it's posting your social media posts for you, like we just brought on like the intern that we were with all summer. We're bringing her on part-time in the fall, and we're going to pay her a couple $100 a month. She's going to manage our socials. Yep. Even though I could very easily go into our system and plug social content into it, and I know how to manage all those systems. I know how to create a quote. I know how to do but is it really worth my time? And am I robbing her of an experience to build her momentum so that she can become a badass, you know, in the social media marketing world someday? Yeah. You know, like, I don't want to just hoard those experiences to myself at all the time either. Yeah. Because at some point in my life, I was that 21-year-old, you know, kind of like bright-eyed, wanting to tackle the entrepreneurial world. Yeah. So like, why not give them the opportunity to do that thing for you? Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah. Did Puff ever text back? Oh, he did. What a guy. We should. I wonder what happened if I just called him. You think he'd answer? Nah, he probably's asleep. Probably has to wake up early in the morning. Let's see if he answers.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
If you call him twice in a row, it might go through.
Callin. Answer your phone, bro.
I'm sorry, the person you were...
Wow.
Got that shit on lock.
Let's see what... You always try Charlie.
Charlie Parker.
It's always funny.
What's going on, Chuckles?
CHARLEE part.
Hello.
Hey.
What's up, bro?
Hey, man. You're on the podcast.
What's good,
whether
Charlie
you like
Parker?
it or not.
You said what?
You on the pod, bro. Welcome to the squad.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
We got Spider Parker here with us.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all want to know something crazy for real?
What? Wow, Charlie, man.
Dang.
That was cold-blooded.
That was savage. Oh, that's funny. Steve's like, Callin broke his toe. Oh, and then Puff was actually in there.
What the heck, Puff? Come on, dude.
He said, I don't think it's really broken, but it hurts like a bitch. Tried to move a big-ish chair and dropped it on my toe.
Oh, dang. Those chairs will get you. He sent me laughing emojis, Charlie. He said, y'all the feds. What?
Y'all the feds? Caitlin Marie, let's get together soon. I miss you guys.
Oh, yeah. She's an OG.
OG?
OG. She takes it. Wait.
Are you watching the live stream right now? Because I'm also watching the live stream.
Yeah.
We're the only two people watching ourselves.
I wish you could see, like, is there an option to...
Yeah, we're definitely the only two people watching ourselves right now.
Charismatics was in the chat, too.
Dude, have you tried Irie Island Jamaican restaurant off of Mahoning? Dude, the food, I'm not going to lie, looks fire.
Oh, dang.
It looks sketchy from the outside, but it looks fire. Like, the food looks really, really good. There's this lady named Melissa. I think it's Melissa. She's been posting videos on Facebook a lot.
Shout out. But, yeah, yesterday we had some really good food, too. We had Joe Butts, grilled butts. or slow roasted butts. Is that what they called it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we had some chicken. We had some sweet potatoes. I brought chicken salad.
Yeah.
Pretty good. That was a good time.
Yeah. That was really good food. I knocked out.
Steve is here. They're in the chat. It's not just us.
Oh, Steve's been hanging out with us this whole time. What's up, Steve?
Thanks for throwing that party yesterday. We had fun. It was a good time.
It was. I'm glad that I came out.
Yeah, I knew Charlie was gonna come. He always says he's not gonna come to things, and then he comes anyways.
Dude, yeah, that is like he's the king of doing that.
Yeah, I'm surprised he actually isn't here right now, but it would be.
It
would just be his
hanging
MO.
up on us.
Yeah, that was cold blooded. Can't believe it.
I'm not gonna lie, A-Rap. I kind of want to go to bed.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I slept most of today because I had 2 weddings this weekend. Then we hung out yesterday, and yeah,
I did not.
I've started Mondays like I've always had this pressure to make Mondays like
productive,
like as productive as I can be. But I've learned since like most of my weekend is like game time. Like my Mondays, I just make it like a clean the house kind of day. Like I wake up when I want to, and then I just like take 2 hours. I put on like a movie or a show or something, like I'm rewatching Breaking Bad. Love Breaking Bad.
That's a good show. Yeah,
I'm just like
it's probably one of my top 3 of all time.
It is. Yeah, like I need to catch up on Better Call Saul. It's a slow going show, but I've heard that the ending is
Better
satisfying.
Call Saul takes a while to build up momentum,
but it's satisfying. So I need to.
Yeah.
I'm like in season 3, so I need to keep going. But I'll just kind of put on something. I'll just knock out the dishes from the weekend. I'll water all my plants. Got some tomatoes going. They're pretty delicious. And then trying to keep these. What are they called? I don't know. I forget the name of it.
Petunias.
No, they're it's a bush that needs like constant water or it dies. I forget what it's called.
I don't know.
I water it every
bushes.
day. Hydrangeas? Is that what they are?
Hydrangeas?
Yeah, I think that's what they're called. But my wife was like, "Do not let these things die," and so I've been on it. They're alive. But
shout out to A-Rob.
Yeah, shout out me.
Keeping the hydrangeas alive.
But yeah, I make Mondays like my cleaning day, and then I come here to do the podcast. We do some stuff at night, and
hang out with Spider Parker.
Virtual
and Puff
on the screen.
We have friends.
Great. I like how we have this whole setup. This is
hilarious.
This is great.
Yeah, this is class act.
But I'm gonna try Shankles real quick. He should be done with work. Let's see if he answers. That would be cool to introduce more like call-in guests. That'd be dope. Oh. Hey, Shanklin.
How you doing?
What's up, dude? You're on the podcast right now.
What's going on, baby?
We have a phone connection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what are you up to?
I'm finishing up at work here. I'm just down the street.
Nice, man. You got breadsticks?
I only got one that's available. That's for
a single breadstick.
Yeah, one single.
One single breadstick.
She's on the podcast as well. Oh, yeah, we're on the pod.
Is that Anna?
Who's all there? Oh, I hear you on.
We got me on. We got Spider-Man Parker, and we got Puff on the screen.
Charlie, I got a bone to pick with you.
What's up, Spider Burger?
So you was all like, can we record a different day? And then still went to the podcast and is there.
He's not here though.
Oh, he's not?
It's a Spider-Man cutout with Charlie Parker's face from high school taped to it.
Never mind, I don't got a bone to pick with you.
He actually hung up. We called him recently. He hung up on us. It was cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe him.
He said he got a lot going on tonight, so I don't know.
Yeah, he said we had a lot of situations. We had a potential broken toe from Puff. Charlie burnt someone's birthday dinner.
Burn dinner.
It's been a rough day.
Yep. I mean, I've been hella productive. I don't know. I feel like every time I do something, everybody shits the bed. I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm just the anti.
You're always winning, Shank.
I guess so. I try my damnedest.
Major dubs.
So, yeah,
stay winning.
I got a lot of good news, I guess. I'll just promo some shit and then I'll hop off here. I'm hungry.
All right, what you got?
So your boy got a laptop today.
Oh, nice. There you go.
external DVD writer, so I can burn some CDs.
Wait, how old is this laptop?
Version of the album for those who are still stuck in the 90s like myself and want a CD. I ordered 500 business cards with super dope designs.
Oh yeah, I saw them. Yeah, I saw it. You left some here. That's dope.
Yep, I think I put you for like the music video thing. I put Charlie's contact and social on there in case people want to hit him up for studio time. I got my link. I got a QR code to my link tree on there for all my like streamable music and streamable things.
Fancy.
Yeah,
you can't lose.
I got my IG, my TikTok, and my email on there. So that's big, and they look super dope. They're like a Japanese theme style look, so that's sweet. It's like 2 hours.
Brand.
Yep. Then, what do you call it? And then, we might line up Michigan by the sounds of things. We might be lining up some show in Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially, or at least.
Did you go? Were you in Michigan this last weekend?
Yep. So I was in Michigan. I meant Chicago. We might line up Chicago.
Oh yeah.
And the show went really well. I have footage of that out. I spit a fire ass verse. That's going to be on J4 and Burrow's song.
Nice.
So I got another song coming out with them, and then I'm doing me really. You know how I do things, but yeah, a lot of productivity for me today. I had to spend a lot of money between the business cards and the laptop and the fun stuff, but I've been wanting to get a laptop forever, and so I took the time to do that, set that up, and and the business cards I desperately needed. And we got the Logic concert tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know if I hit big on that.
Wait, what's going on tomorrow? You're going to Logic?
He's performing. He's opening for Logic.
Oh, you're opening for Logic. That's dope.
No. I wish. I get lucky. Listen, Anna surprised me with tickets. She said we have really good seats. She's trying to get wiped up hella early. And so that's why I want to burn the CDs. Not the CDs are my main. Yeah, not that CDs are my main marketing thing, but it's different.
Yeah.
Because I have this 90s style, because I kind of have like this throwback style, and because it's just something that's different. I feel like it fits like the whole 90s theme. And so that's why I wanted the business cards. Unfortunately, I can't get them in time. But I wanted to tape business cards to all of the things, you know what I'm saying? So that way, like, here's the streamable stuff. Here's where you find me. Here's something tangible,
Yeah.
I realized that people, and Jan, you probably know this from being like a marketing genius. People love tangible items,
Yeah.
That's true.
And so to make yourself more personable, you give somebody an item, and it makes them feel like they're one of one or one of a select few.
Like an NFT.
Which have 20
I swear to
CDs.
God, Rob.
So my plan is to figure out I tried to burn them, but it wasn't playing, so I have to go back to the drawing board and figure shit out. But yeah, for the next 24 hours, try to get as many of those done. I have like 30 CDs I can burn. So as many of those I can get done, I will.
We got to download LimeWire.
Yeah, I gotta get LimeWire. You gotta get a boombox, dude. Carry it above your shoulder.
Windows Media Player, so that you can burn CDs inside of Windows.
Well, I just downloaded all my songs, and they're on my files. But so what? Do I need to download something separate?
To burn CDs, bro?
Wait.
I
don't
even remember the steps.
Well, what kind of computer do you have? Like PC or Mac?
I got an H. It's a Windows.
It's a Windows.
Microsoft.
Okay, so there's gonna be there's a thing called Windows Media Player.
Yeah.
I think on those computers, right? And Windows Media Player should have the option to rip CDs. Well, no, that's if you're trying to rip it off of another CD and put it on the other one.
All right, let's just Google this.
But if you have Windows Media Player and just files on your computer, as long as they're MP3 files, you should be able to copy them onto the CD.
Yep. But they all are.
I went to type it in, and someone said how to burn a CD in 2022.
Well, dude, I don't think most computers don't even have disk drives anymore, do they?
This doesn't have my last MacBook did.
That's why I had to buy an external thing. It plugs into the USB.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
If anybody knows how to help Shanklin out, hit him up.
Dude, when did we get old?
Yeah, I remember burning I used to burn I still have CDs in my car, but
dude, one of the first albums I ever burned was Encore.
Oh yeah,
Eminem. Nice. Yeah, and then Curtain Call.
I have CDs of Pablo Francisco. That's a good one.
Mine were always Jeff Foxworthy and Ron White.
Yeah, Ron White. It's classic.
Yeah. So I'm doing stuff different, and I'm trying to make the most out of this Logic concert, because Logic's been in a thing where he has been inviting people on stage and really interacting with them. And it's like,
show them light work.
At the end of the day, we're all human beings. And so you see somebody kind of like doing this hustle, like, hey,
what?
And
I said,
you see people, oh, what?
I was just saying, except for Lil Wayne, because he expressly says, I am not a human being.
Yeah, that's true.
Quite often.
We also got Charlie Parker. He's a spider.
He's a spider.
I'm trying to make the most out of this trip. But yeah, thanks for the call. But I'm exhausted and I am very tired and very hungry. Michigan shrimp went well.
Yeah, dude. You gonna bring us any soup and salad from your place of work?
A-Rob's out here like fiending for Olive Garden.
Adam, come in. You can get free shit. I will give you free shit.
Okay, sounds good.
I will get you a free dessert. I'll tell them that you're my friend.
Nice.
I'll hook you up.
All right, I'll be there. I remember I asked you last week if I could come in there and like work on stuff, and you're like, some people do that. So
yes,
I might have to do that.
Do they really? Shank, is that legit a thing?
That'd be dope.
What?
Do people go in there to work on stuff?
Get that endless soup and salad. Just stay there for like 4 hours.
Like they'll just come in like with a laptop, but we don't have free Wi-Fi. But like if you, I don't know.
Dude, I have a hotspot.
Yeah.
I will totally come into Olive Garden and like drink wine and eat breadsticks.
Yeah, dude.
And work on emails.
Let's do it this week. That'd be amazing. Yeah. We'll do it. We'll hang out with you.
I'm a double on Wednesday. Friday lunch.
All right, bet. All right, go eat some food, Shank. Right, have a good night.
We love you, dude.
Thank you guys for calling.
Stay fresh.
Stay fresh. Don't murder anybody.
I'm actually getting a free hot tub on Wednesday. This is like the craziest
I feel like that is not a good phrase.
So my friend, he buys and sells like real estate, and I think he told me that he
bought a hoarder house and like is gonna give you a free hot tub because I would not sit in.
He said it's like in good working order, and he's like the only thing you need is a new pump, like a new filter, because he's like theirs is like it's operational, but you probably want to fix it. But he was like he buys and sells real estate, and he was like they just didn't want to bring it to their new place, and so they left it behind. And I was like, I'll take it.
Hell yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Because the people that owned my house before me, they actually had a hot tub hookup like where like right off my porch. So I was like, perfect. Look at that. Pretty hot.
It's like it's meant to be.
I know, dude.
That's pretty badass, dude.
Yeah, got a nice
hot tubs are the best.
Little hot tub action.
My buddy Alex had one that was functional for a while, and it's been broken, and I've been sad that it's been broken. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
It's so nice in the wintertime.
Oh,
like
yeah.
In the middle of
get
winter.
A little like
ice ring around it.
Those hut thingies.
Yeah. Like that.
It's a good way to get a cold too.
Igloos. Yeah.
It's like when you go to like a indoor like water park in the winter, like I'm blanking on names. Kalahari, yeah. Every time I go to Kalahari in the winter, I end up getting like a head cold or something.
Dude, it's probably just because of all the fucking piss in the water at Kalahari in your ears and sinuses.
And then you go to that one hot tub that's outside. Yeah. And you're like, I shouldn't be allowed out here.
I shouldn't be allowed out here. This is a forbidden hot tub.
But it's like my head's cold, but my body's warm. That can't be.
My mind's telling me no.
That can't be good.
But my body.
But yeah, man. We made this podcast happen with no hip hop. Like that's
no rappers.
It's weird. We broke the mold. We were talking about how we could maybe do like the Whack Bee challenge, but I don't know how good we'd fare at that.
No.
The Whack because the Whack Bee challenge is no mercy. It's like I don't even know how to attack it. Like I like playing it for other people, but when I have to do it, it's not good. Me and Jan, we hope you didn't yawn. We hope we gave you some good information. I don't know. It's just such a weird beat.
Try to pick up my phone. I gotta stay in my zone. Got dropping on the zitty gun. No.
Like,
nothing.
Hey, at least we tried.
Hey, we gave it our best effort.
Gave it our best, but Jan, tell people where.
I need to be a lot less sober.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna try to give that.
A Brad gave me this Busch Light, and I've been reluctantly drinking it because I'm not a Busch Light fan.
Busch Latte.
But I'm like,
bro, that tastes like high school.
It was free.
Oh.
So that's. But yeah, it like.
I used to buy those in Dirty 30s all the time. Oh my god.
I feel like I I never really got into like the cheap beer drinking stage because like all of my friends were like beer snobs like when I started drinking, because I didn't start drinking until I was like 20, like halfway through 22, because I worked at a place where like people were going.
Bro, I was like 14.
People were going through like rehab, so I was like, I can't drink and then tell people you should probably stop drinking.
Right.
So I didn't drink until my friend's wedding, and that weekend everybody was like, Adam's drinking, it's game on, like we're gonna. Like
full send it.
Yeah, it was crazy. I had 151.
Holy shit! On your first time drinking?
My first time drinking. Oh my god!
I hate people.
My friend Ben told me to drink Long Island iced teas. I was like, these taste pretty good. Keep it rolling. I had like 3 of those, and then it was a whole weekend. And then like all of my friends, like we would go. It was like all about
Long Islands
all about
are probably
beer.
like one of the deadliest drinks in the game.
It's just like. It's too much.
It's 5 different rums and like vodka and Arnold Palmer.
You're going nuts. Yeah, it was crazy. And it was a fun wedding. It was like the best weekend. Like I was like an usher, but I was like part of the bridal party sort of. So we like everywhere we went, there was alcohol somewhere, and like we were just like going nuts. And I'm like,
hell yeah,
this is crazy. And then like when I moved back to Ohio, all my friends just drank like craft. We would go to like craft beer like breweries and stuff.
Right.
And like I got to a point where I was like, the darker the beer, the better. Like the Hoppin' Frog, like the what's the name?
You're just drinking nothing
Doris
but,
the
like,
Destroyer.
Guinness. Yeah.
Just like the darkest beer, like no light can escape it. I don't know.
Bro, I can't drink stouts that heavy.
But yeah, I can't anymore. I mean, I probably could, but
You're drinking like the beer version of Jägermeister. It's just
it's like
black.
Just like engine fuel. You're like, what is going on? But no, I kind of mellowed out. But yeah, now it's just whatever's free or available. Or
dude. As long as the best types of beer are free and cold.
What doesn't make me feel bloated? So like that's one thing. Like these don't really make me feel that bloated unless you drink like 4 or 5
tonic water.
But yeah,
with like a tiny little bit of beer flavor.
Yeah, you're like it's what you piss after you drink a good beer.
Exactly.
Good old natty lights and it's a.
And natter days are pretty solid though.
Yeah,
I'll drink those.
But yeah, we had some. Charlie brought in some Southern Comfort from a wedding he had like a week ago. Did you drink any of that?
No, I haven't.
That brought me back to a weird day, like where I was hanging out with a group of friends, and like we had a bunch of those for some reason, and we were just drinking Southern Comfort, and it gives you like this weird like. You feel like your insides are like slowly burning. It's a weird feeling.
My insides are on fire.
My insides are on fire. Anyways, I don't know where else to go with this podcast, but do you want to tell the people where they can find you? What you got going on?
Yeah. So you can, if you are in need of marketing services, you can go to apexcommunicationsnetwork.com. You can find my business there. You can find me if you want to just kick it with me on IG at Jan looks like Jan, Jan Almacy. LinkedIn is probably the best place if you want to consume like my content in general. That's where I post the most often. And that's just, look up Jan Almacy and it'll say CEO of Apex Communications Network and head of community of Indie. I'm pretty sure I'm one of the only Jan Almacy's on the internet. So
on the interwebs.
Yeah, if you just Google it, you can find something to get a hold of me.
And then Adam R. Rob Film. This is why it sucks. All Circles Media. And then, In Orbit Podcast. We got new music videos. We got Shank. That one's pretty dope. And we just filmed another one last week, and so I'm excited to get working on that and to maybe pass some of that off to somebody. So this will be my test.
Your test run.
Yeah, I'm like, all right. So we filmed, but no, it was a good time. We went around downtown Canton. We were gonna do scooters. We didn't do a lot of scooters, but we performed a song with called "Holding Dreams" with Charlie Parker, with Master Puff. We made it look like Master Puff was in a crime scene. So you'll just have to wait to figure out what that means.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a good time. But so follow us on that, and until next week. Hopefully we'll have some rappers on the roster, but you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that way it's not me and A-Rob like murdering Whack Beat Challenge.
Yeah, just like killing this beat, like
murder.
Can't do it. All right, so let's bring it back into orbit, back into orbit. Jan, what do you got for us?
As we descend through the stratosphere, I would just like to remind everybody to keep their hands and feet inside of the vehicle at all times. Once we dock at the station, it's going to take a couple of seconds. We're going to wheel into the airport, and then we are going to connect. You'll be able to exit stage right and collect your baggage. After you go down the escalator, please do not sit on the rotating devices, as people have gotten caught and mauled, and that's not good for airport liability.
Yeah.
Thank you for spending another day with us here on In Orbit.
In Orbit Podcast.